The dog was lying on the riverbank, barely moving. After days of heavy rain, no one knew how he had survived. His fur was soaked, his body covered in mud, and his weak cries echoed above the rushing water. Cars passed by on the main road, but nobody stopped. For hours, he fought alone, his eyes pleading for help. Finally, one couple noticed him and decided to act. They called for help and stayed with him until rescuers arrived. Up close, the sight was heartbreaking. The dog was completely paralyzed, limp, and nearly lifeless. He had swallowed so much muddy water while struggling to stay alive that he vomited on the way to the clinic. At the vet, his condition was critical. Severe malnutrition, dehydration, and hypothermia left his body fragile. The team moved quickly, warming him, putting him on fluids, and giving him medication. The night ahead was uncertain. No one could say if he would survive until morning. They gave him a name, Camilo, a strong name because this old dog needed all the strength in the world to fight. By the second day, a small spark appeared. Camilo was still weak and hooked up to fluids, but he managed to eat a few bites of food. He was no longer vomiting, and his digestive system was slowly settling. When a hand stroked his head, he let out a soft cry. It was the first real sign of life, and it gave everyone hope. I told him, "It's okay, my boy. You're safe now. We'll do everything we can," one rescuer shared. On the third day, Camilo shocked everyone. For the first time, he ate on his own, finishing an entire plate of chicken and liver. Every bite was like a victory against the storm he had endured. He wagged his tail gently, a silent thank you to the people who refused to give up on him. The team bathed him carefully, washing away the mud and filth from his body. Beneath it all was an elderly mixed husky, around 15 or 16 years old. His once heavy coat was gone, but his eyes were brighter. He could finally relieve himself normally without pain. Camilo's back legs were still weak from age, exhaustion, and trauma. Standing was difficult, but he no longer looked like a dog ready to give up. His spirit, though battered, was still alive. The rescue group decided to share his story online. To their surprise, thousands of people followed his progress. Donations poured in, covering his tests, treatments, and special meals. Messages of love came from around the world, cheering him on. People who had never met Camilo felt connected to his fight for life. As the days passed, Camilo improved. He gained weight slowly, his coat began to shine again, and his tail wagged more often. Soon, he was strong enough to go outside for short moments in the sunshine. He lifted his head, looked around, and wagged his tail at the other rescue dogs nearby. With help, he even tried to stand, taking a few shaky steps. This old soul, who had been abandoned and left to die in the storm, was starting over. His second chance had begun. No one knew much about Camilo's past. Maybe he once had a family, maybe he had been left behind when age and illness made him inconvenient. But his story now wasn't about the pain of the past. It was about survival, kindness, and the will to keep going. The rescuers cared for him like he was their own. They gave him the softest blankets, the tastiest meals, and endless affection. Camilo learned that he could ask for cuddles and get them every time. He discovered that human hands no longer meant fear, only comfort. Each week brought new progress. His wounds healed, his strength returned, and his eyes sparkled with life again. The dog who had once been too weak to stand was now eager to go outside, to feel the grass, to see the world he almost lost. Camilo reminded everyone that age doesn't erase worth. Even at 15 or 16 years old, with scars and weakness, he was full of love to give. His gentle nature touched everyone who met him. Today, Camilo is still under treatment, but his progress is steady. He eats with a healthy appetite, enjoys his walks in the sun, and soaks up every cuddle offered to him. He's spoiled and pampered, just as he deserves. His body may be old, but his heart is strong. Soon, he will be ready for adoption. Somewhere out there is a family who will never betray him again, who will give him the comfort and love he waited for his whole life. Camilo's journey shows that even when all hope seems lost, kindness can bring light back. He survived the storm, he survived abandonment, and now he's proving that second chances are always possible. If this story of Camilo touched your heart, give it a like. Share it with someone who loves animals, because even sharing helps more rescues like him find safety. And tell us in the comments, what's your own rescue story?